What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tide Talk. It's Thursday, August 7th, and we're here to discuss last night's 1-0 win against Detroit City FC. Just a reminder that each episode of Tide Talk is available on YouTube, and if you're watching now, please take a second to subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching this, please hit the thumbs up button as it helps YouTube show Tide Talk to more people. You can also find us on your favorite podcast applications like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening there, we'd really appreciate it if you left us a 5-star rating and a short review, as it helps more people find our podcast. One last plug: if you're not already on the RIFC Club Collector app, sign up and enter code TIDETALK25 to get an exclusive pack to add to your collection. So everybody, let's cozy up, let's crack a beer, and let's dive into this one. I'm Ryan, and I will be your host tonight, and I'm joined by the man they're calling Mr. 205, Mr. Matt Hands, Dale. Matt Hands, how is your night going? I thought of that one 2 minutes ago, and I'm really proud of it.
Pretty good. At least we get to review.
As the chat is giving a little inside info here, it was a close call here, but we made it.
We did. Good to be here after a win. So
yes, that was the biggest thing that I kept saying last night afterwards. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, 3 points!" I'm like, "We get to talk about something fun." We'll go from there and we'll talk about how fun it was. But very excited to talk about a win with you tonight. So I guess that kind of leads us into my first point here. So as always, we're going to start with the lead up to the match. And the first thing I had written down, Matt, was the vibes. And dare I say the vibes were pretty fucking bad moving into this one. What was going on in the vibes world, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. Bad vibes all around. Yes. I think, coming off the Hartford games, and then, you were hoping that for Pittsburgh, you'd be able to do something there. Right. And that obviously went terrible. It was even worse maybe than Hartford, at least performance wise. So yeah, total disaster. So not good vibes coming into the game at all. Like zero expectations.
Yeah, and just for everyone, if you somehow had woken up at this part of the season or you're tuning in for the first time, Rhode Island FC was on a really bad run of form. Only one win in league play since May or since the beginning of June, and Matt Hands just disappeared. We'll keep powering through here. So as mentioned, the vibes very, very bad. I have Wednesday written down. Unclear why I had that written down, but we will go to the there he is.
My bad.
Unbelievable. So Matt, yes. Why now? That was good filibuster because now I remember why I wrote down Wednesday. A Wednesday night game, obviously coming off the back of a Saturday night one. The vibes are bad. I think people are a little nervous about the attendance, things like that. How did you feel ahead of time?
Yeah, just not good vibes coming into the game. Yeah, I mean, attendance, I was a little bit concerned. Obviously, being a midweek game back at home, team's been playing poorly. Kevin, not looking. Not looking good. Just I don't know, bad vibes. Just bad vibes. So all I can keep saying. A little bit better now, but there's bad vibes coming into the game.
Absolutely. Sure. And Matt Hands, usually we will cover the tailgate, but I don't think either of us made it there. So if you were at the tailgate and you want to weigh in on that experience, obviously, again, Wednesday night makes it a little tougher. It's school night. It is also just tighter to get to the game if you got out of work. So if anyone has any fun thoughts there, awesome. But we'll get right into this one, as I'm sure there's a lot to talk about. We'll go to the lineup first. So we had a fun surprise going into this one with Koke Vegas returning in net. We had Aldair Sanchez also returning to the lineup with Hugo Bacharach, Aime Bika, Albert Dikwa, Clay Holstad, Jojea Quizera, Mark Ibarra, Karufa Yao, new guy Matthew Corcoran, and Amos Shapiro Thompson. So I know that I looked at this, and I every time I see the lineup, I do a thing where I almost want to like write it all out and move everyone around. I keep saying I'm going to bring like a whiteboard with like magnets and stuff to games, but I'll be honest, I had absolutely no idea what this looked like on paper. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, same. Just like you, I try to figure out every time I look at the lineup and it comes out, I'm trying to figure out, okay, who's playing where. It's the first thing I do. I was kind of confused about a lot of it, honestly. Happy to have Koke in there, but there's some omissions I'm sure we'll talk about that were weird. But yeah, as far as how we were going to set up, I was like, yeah, I mean, it looked like a back five, kind of, with probably Clay right wing back, but we weren't really sure. It was kind of back to midfield FC, lots of midfielders in there and not as many attackers. So
Yeah,
it was
oops, all the midfielders, as some great meme image this week came out.
yeah, that was pretty great.
So I think the one question I had looking at this lineup was, were you surprised to see the new guy, Matthew Corcoran, in there starting right away?
Yeah, kind of, but then I remembered that, like, I think Kano tends to do, like, I think he's done that before. Like, we get someone in on loan and, like, he starts right away. So in that aspect, I guess I wasn't that surprised. I mean, going in, I was thinking maybe he'd come off the bench, which is kind of what my instinct normally is. But yeah, I mean, look, Nashville wants him to get minutes, so I guess it's not all that surprising that Kano started him right away.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember this from last year when Zachary Haraval was signed. He gets right
Yeah.
in and scores 2 goals that first game. So, yeah, I mean, Kano clearly knows a player. They did spend time together in Birmingham in 2023, where Corcoran really spent them like his kind of breakout season as a professional there. So, yeah, I think not surprising, and we'll definitely talk about his performance as we go. But yeah, we'll move into the first half, and I can't say it kind of started as a cagey, normal affair as we've seen of late. No real team can kind of step on it too much. I think we saw Detroit get the better of RIFC to start it here, and we will go to a couple of videos here where I think, as well as Jackson Lee has been playing, I think we saw a little bit of the season that Koke was having prior to his injury, kind of jump right back into it with this first Detroit chance.
To just let it go. Stern talking to Hernandez Foster. Please lift it through. Darren Smith goes for goal and saved by Vegas.
It's a lovely ball from Hernandez Foster. He did look as if he was a good yard or two offside, and he puts it, you can see him aiming towards the.
So I will say that earlier when I was pulling all these videos together, I did do the VAR test on if he was offsides. Honestly, not even close. He was very onside. I think Hugo kind of took a little bit of a nap there. And yeah, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, definitely onside. Like, I didn't really know in real time from the stands, but yeah, definitely onside. And great save from Koke. We obviously were happy to have him back for his distribution. Obviously, is what that's always been like the main difference with him and Jackson. But also, yeah, his actual shot stopping, the main point of goalkeeping, has been better this year. And yeah, it was great great save, kept us in the game.
Absolutely. And from that moment, it seemed like Rhode Island FC did pick up a little momentum. We had 2 great opportunities from Josiah Kozera, which we will go to next.
Body still forward from the corner. Settled.
Ooh, didn't realize I would do that. All right.
Body still forward from the corner. Settled. Blocked. There's the area there. Hernandez Foster. Slipped through. Quizera goes for goal. Quizera. Not a bad effort. Had Saldana concerned.
Down. We've seen a few shots in this match that have cleared the crossbar. But it's moving such that Carlos Saldana has to get across, has to make sure it doesn't dip at the
last regular season goal they scored 360 minutes ago. And they end that string right here. Clipped in. Oh, backside of the 6. Falls for Quizera now on the volley. It's touched over the bar by Saldana.
He doesn't half catch those beautifully. Ball chipped in. Trouble for Detroit. They headed clear. Chested, and then that strike there is a wonderful strike. Just that fingertip. Would it have gone in? Hard to say. It might have just hit the crossbar, but that fingertip.
So really like the aggression there from Quizera. I think another highlight of those clips is you can hear Patrick McKenna clear as day yelling "RI" over and over in that first one, especially. Yeah. But I really like to see Quizera coming to life. We saw him picking up, I think, a little bit more interesting positions. He wasn't playing as much of a wingback as we normally see with Aldair kind of on his outside. So he had a little more freedom to play more of like a kind of attacking midfielder winger role. And I thought it kind of put him in some interesting positions. And I thought it was one of his better halves this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's kind of taken a while, I think, this season for him to kind of get going. They kind of hit the heights we saw him do last year. And he's obviously, not there yet, but yeah, he's been a lot better lately. So yeah, good to see him take up those positions. Like you said, Good technique on those shots. Second one especially was, I mean, probably like the announcer said, probably gonna hit the crossbar, but exciting, at least to have a shot on target, one on target basically, or at least challenge the goalkeeper because as we all know, we haven't had much success with that lately. So at least we got close.
Yeah, it was interesting when I saw the lineup out when I was doing my magnets and writing things on paper and all that. I think my biggest glaring thing was, okay, who's going to put the ball in the back of the net? We got all the midfielders and we should be able to get the ball up the pitch. Who's going to be the one to put it in? Obviously, you have Chico up there, who scored plenty of goals for us. Quizera scored some, so he was kind of one of those like next up, really. Because then, really, from there, it's like Clay. Amos scored his first goal for us last week, and then from there, it's maybe some defenders who've gotten a corner back, not this year, but last year. So, I think it was nice to see Quizera kind of step up with the absence of, JJ Williams, Noah Fuson, Maxi Rodriguez, the players that we have seen, unfortunately this season, sparingly putting the ball in the net, but putting the ball in the net.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Noah didn't start, and Maxi especially, which I'm sure we'll get to when we get to the Maxi moment when he came on. But yeah, thought it was interesting because, we had a lot of, like you said, a lot of midfielders. I thought we kind of played in the first half okay. I think we were passing the ball around pretty well with the new guy. I thought Corcoran looked pretty good, like comfortable in possession. So that was all great, but we didn't have like the end product of, we didn't have our best attacking players on the field. So I think that kind of, cost us there a bit.
And speaking of passing, when we get to these first half stats here, pretty even, 54% possession for Rhode Island FC, 5 shots apiece, 1 shot on target apiece. Detroit had that one big chance that they missed, which was when they got free on goal. RIFC slightly edged it on passing, 202 accurate passes at 88%, 168 for Detroit City at 86. I mean, both those are very high passing percentages, which I think shows you kind of the safety and aggression and tempo of this game. It was very sideways, very backwards. Not a lot of risk being taken by either team here. They're two teams that were both in very bad form, so you could see them, especially Detroit, trying to play it safe and try to get nick a point on the road. Fouls 8-7 in that first half. I thought we'll talk more about the ref, especially in the second half here, and then corners 3-2 to Rhode Island FC, which Kevin kept turning around and reminding me that it was Wednesday night. So if we got the Chick-fil-A corner, we could get a sandwich the following day, which we all know, if you watch the game, did not happen. But yeah, Hans, anything else on the first half here?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you're right about the safe passing. I thought, again, I keep focusing on, the new kid because, it was something different, at least, to watch out for. I think he had a lot of safe passes, and that, probably like you were saying, probably helped that number grow up for accurate passes. I think it was obvious what Kano, I think, was trying to do as far as in possession, playing out from the back, which was good to see. I think that's, some people might not like that style of play, but I think that's the way that we all know Kano wants to play. And I think from the start, and that definitely showed in the first half, even if we didn't get the chances.
Yeah, and I have to say, we talked to start this one about what we were a little concerned about the atmosphere, but we got a lot of love for 205 in this one. I think 205 was absolutely bumping. We did get a great loan signing of Patrick McKenna into 205, as I mentioned. I thought he really brought it. But yeah, I thought the atmosphere was good. I know the attendance. I'll be honest, I think I heard laughter when they announced it last night. But all in all, I thought for a Wednesday night, the people brought it. So
yeah, the 200s are usually great. I think like from up there, it looks like. And I kind of look around, there's usually a lot of people up there, whether in 205 or, over in 207, other, like whatever, all the sections up there, so that's always good. And I think you look down, you look around the stadium, and there's not as much behind the goals. Obviously 116 is hopping all the time, the rest of that. But yeah, the 200s are great. A lot of energy brought up there, a lot of screaming at the ref. Yeah, Martin, too loud to have the voice. Yeah, lots of screaming at the ref, lots of yelling at the field. So definitely passionate group up there. Not just us, even the rest of the people up there. Yeah,
a lot of ball knowledge packed into one section. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll move on to the second half here, and unfortunately, get started a little rough for Rhode Island FC. I think you would hope that they would come on at halftime, really bring the energy. They're attacking the Defiance end, which again I think is one of the big unlocks of the season if they can keep doing that. Yeah. But we see Koke make yet another pretty incredible save. Coming out of halftime in the 53rd minute. think it's this one.
Is that their teams have defended really well, both of them. I'll tell you more in a moment.
Montez Diouf with a full head of steam. Diouf going for goal save. Rebound, headed over the bar. Oh, Darren Smith just cannot buy a goal right now. Trout, he's in the mix of one of those right now.
Kobe Hernandez fostered her so well to win the ball. It's a good effort from Diouf. Good save from Vegas. Now, for me, Darren Smith's got to head that down. I'm not saying he necessarily scores, but he's got to hit the target. Going high like that.
So Jorgeya, who we were just hyping up and liked that he was picking up those positions in the middle of the pitch, unfortunately does lose the ball and kind of lets the other Detroit break on goal. Koke makes one great save, and I think the best part about that one is he's immediately up and ready for the second one, just in case the Detroit attacker heads it over, but he's there. So yet again, Koke really showing why he was the man of the match in this one. Hans?
Yeah, no, agree. As far as Quezera, like him taking up those spots, but hopefully in their half of the field, not in our half of the field. So that was, reminds me. Sorry, I have to anecdote. Reminds me of what's his name? Famous Neil Warnock, famous manager, said that Adel
Neil Warnock.
He said he would find his players if they passed it to him in their own half. It's Quezera. Find the players, kind of, if they pass it to Chris. And I'm just kidding, but sorry, I had to pull that one out. But Vamos RIFC, that's right, Defiance. Anyway, on the save, good from Koke to get down. I agree with the announcer, the commentator, that Smith should have headed it down. Manchester United legend, whoever his name is, he always gets introduced that way on all the broadcasts. He was a goalkeeper, I think, in like the 70s or something. But no, I mean, he was pretty good. He was right. Yeah, he should have headed that down. But good save from Koke, and good for us that Smith missed his header.
Absolutely. And I think that was a little bit of a wake-up call for Renown FC. And we see we got a lot of love for Hugo in the chat. People knew this was coming. And I think Hugo all night really showed he was one of the only players who I think was really advancing, driving, showing that passion and energy that we saw kind of a couple of games ago, especially Indy when he came on. He was like bursting through, breaking lines with his dribbling. And I think that intensity and that danger that he brought to the other team, I thought was phenomenal last night. And it led to the penalty call for Renown FC.
Bacharach muscles off at his Diouf. Here's Holstead earning a corner. Or is it a handball? Yeah, it's given as a penalty. Wow. After a quick glance at the assistant referee, we'll show you and let you be the judge.
Well, we get the benefit of seeing it a second time. I'm not sure.
Closing in on 400 minutes without a goal. Officially 375 minutes.
So we're gonna let that play one more time, but wanted because it does include what comes after. But was that a penalty for you?
I still don't know. I watched the replay like a bunch of times. Just watched it now again. Obviously, I saw it in like a clip the RIFC did. That was funny, but I don't know. I mean, obviously the ref's indicating his arm was like away from his body, and I thought it was. I don't think it was like egregious, like way away from his body, but he did kind of like stick it out. I think they said like chicken wing or something on the broadcast, but kind of like that, so maybe, but I guess I think if it would have happened to us, I would have thought it was harsh if it was a penalty called on us. So obviously happy about it, but I'm on the fence. I don't really I couldn't really tell, but the line, the side judge, whatever, assistant ref was right there. I mean, gotta trust him. So I mean, he would have seen it. It was right in front of him. So sure.
Yeah, I mean, number one, the Hugo, unbelievable run by him. It's kind of wild. The guy tried to tackle him, bounced off him, and I think was down injured after the play from bouncing off Hugo. Unbelievable compliment to him. You know why I think it was a penalty? Because Clay was adamant about it, and that guy looked so fucking guilty that like he could not hide how guilty he felt and how much he thought it hit his arm. So that is why I am pretty convinced it was a penalty, just due to the Detroit City players' reaction there. So we are going to play through that sequence one more time, and then leading into the big moment here where Max Rodriguez comes on, first kick of the game, and we'll talk a bit about that decision and what came after.
Bacharach muscles off at his Diouf. Here's Holstead earning a corner. Or is it a handball? Yeah, it's given as a penalty. Wow. after a quick glance at the assistant referee. We'll show you and let you be the judge.
Well, we get the benefit of seeing it a second time. I'm not sure.
Closing in on 400 minutes without a goal. Officially 375 minutes right now, that regular season goalless drought.
Maxi Rodriguez took the last penalty, if I'm not mistaken, against Hartford. Do you think he'll come on and straight away take a penalty?
Well, you wonder if that's why they're making the substitution right now, and he's coming to grab the ball. Wow. Usually you don't make substitutions on set pieces in moments like that unless you have some sort of purpose in mind. So he comes right on the field, he grabs the ball against his former team. Now Maxi Rodriguez will set up for the penalty.
Certainly hope he's done his stretches beforehand and he's nice and limbered up. But this is a vital, vital moment for Rhode Island in the story of this season.
It was in that match against Hartford in the Jägermeister Cup that he scored on a penalty. His first season with Rhode Island after spending 2021 through 2024 with Detroit City. This is going to be his first touch of the ball. He just subbed on after the penalty was given. Rodriguez scores it at the hour mark against his former club. A muted celebration externally, internally. Has to feel good for that man.
So Max Rodriguez comes on, first kick of the ball, slots it home, and then does the Class C thing and does not celebrate there. Obviously, a big talking point, both Detroit City games this year was the kind of Max Rodriguez storyline, and we really haven't gotten able to see it play out. With the red card in the first game, Maxi comes out at halftime, and then this one does not get the start here. There's some tension there. There was some interesting commentary by the Northern Guard, which we know that it's made its rounds and people have seen that on the RIFC side. And, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting decision for that. And then, interesting that Maxi did not start this one. Hans.
Yeah. So, as far as him not starting, I think going into the game, like we had talked about it. It was like a Tide Talk thing. We, in our chat, we were talking about how, like, man, if he doesn't start this game, like, maybe there's an issue there or something going on. And not just us, BSing, no information there. But, it was very interesting that he didn't start. But for him to come on like that and then score the penalty, like Martin said, ice cold. Like, I think I put ice in his veins in the blog. Like, amazing. And, like, I was feeling pressure from 205. Like, and I can say this now because it's over and he made it. But the thought definitely crossed my mind before he took it. And this is just because of how bad the vibes have been. Like, oh, man, like, if he misses this against Detroit, we're never going to live this down.
Yep. Like,
coming on and take the penalty. And then, but, you got to have confidence in him. He's a really good penalty taker, as we've seen. Connor has confidence in him. I think Connor, after the game, mentioned that he told Maxi, like, you'll hey, I know you're not starting, but if you come in the game, you're definitely taking penalties if we get a penalty. Like, he's unequivocally the penalty taker for this team. And yeah, like, credit to him because, like, a lot of pressure there. And he already did the one against North Carolina too, tons of pressure to win that game. And then here against his old team, coming off the bench cold and burying it, just awesome. So really, really great to see.
Yeah, listen, he put up a thing after the game calling himself a penalty merchant, which I thought was very funny.
Funny.
But hey, I mean, last year, all we could talk about was how we had no one who could take penalties. Now we have a guy who is absolutely clinical from the spot. I know there's been other conversations, and there are people actually calling him a penalty merchant, like, as a negative, which I at this point am baffled at a lot of the Maxi hate, but that one specifically is insane because he's come in clutch time and time again this season.
Yeah, he scored against the Revs. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we lost that game, but he got a goal there from open play. It was a good goal. Like, yeah, he's a good player. He can score when he's in those areas of the field. Sometimes we need him to be further back, but yeah, he's definitely capable of scoring from open play.
Were you nervous about the kind of hair change affecting his penalty stride?
Yeah, I don't know. So, like, again, we were talking about this before the game. Like, they are weird. You and exactly. We were talking about this before the game. Like, hair change. Max is going to be on fire and awesome. But then we remembered, like, Quizera dyed his hair and had a bad game right after dyeing his hair. So it's one of those, like, I guess it depends on the player, right? And the superstition there. So no, I don't know. I wasn't that worried about it. I guess I was thinking maybe it'd be positive for him.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Quizera, he's sneaky one of the funniest players on the team. Someone at the wall asked him if the haircut is like working out for him, and he was like, "Oh, absolutely not." Like,
Self-aware,
which I
buddy.
thought was like genuinely one of the funniest things. Because I also am a big like change it up guy. Obviously, at this point, I don't have the hair to do anything with, but
Yeah.
I'm a big like you're in a funk, change something up, and I do always like that soccer. I feel like soccer players especially go to hair there. So yeah, absolutely
Funny.
hilarious from Quizera there.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
All
Your
right, so
favorite player, you're his favorite podcast host, as we all know.
exactly. Yes. Shout out to Georgia. But as we move into the half, I think we obviously take the lead, and from there, RIFC kind of got messy. The subs kind of start pouring in. It's not making a ton of sense, and I think you could say Detroit definitely had more of the ball, a lot more chances. There was one specific moment that I am going to pull up. I think that kind of epitomizes what was going on last night here from the broadcast.
Hernandez Foster's ball headed away. Dequa. See the reaction there, bottom of your screen. Some of the fans wanted that to go forward. Ibarra slows it down, works it back, but it seemed like something might have been on. They've been more proactive. Kirkano Smith, you could probably live with that in that moment now with a 1-0 lead. Maxi Rodriguez.
So that was the Tide Talk crew reacting to that Ibarra backwards pass there. Yeah, I absolutely hate the commentary there saying, if you're Kano, you're fine with it with your 1-0 lead. It is 1-0 in the 63rd minute. And you're at, I mean, I think Timmy said it earlier today to us. Like, if anything, like the fans have seen very minimal goals so far, paying money to go see the soccer team at Centreville Bank Stadium. Like, at least go for it. So I think that really summed up the frustration, and not just in that moment. I think that was a outpouring of frustration with how the team has been playing, and kind of that lack of like smelling blood and going for it. Because Aldair is making that unbelievable run behind him. Even Aldair kind of throws his hands up. You see Noah kind of darting in to make a run too, and it just, instead of going forward, the team goes sideways or backwards more often than they should. I am not team that you always should be going forward, and sideways and backwards is bad. Everybody, I think at this point, if you've listened to at least even one of these shows, you've heard me probably say that this is fine. But I think that was just a lot of pent up frustration. That was such a perfect moment and very funny video.
Yeah, no, agree 100%. Like you gotta get the ball forward there. Like you're right. Like it's too early to be like, oh, let's just kill the game off. Like way too early. Yeah, wasn't out there. You said with his arms up. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't notice who it was, but yeah, like streaking down the middle, you had guys in space, and you just turn around and you just completely just turn away from them. Like it wasn't even a thought. It's like I'm gonna get the ball, and he like immediately just turns backwards, and it's like, come on. Like I get that you want to hold on to the ball and all of that, but in that case, got to get it forward. Felt like we were probably doing Kano's job for him there, with Kano's always yelling at them from the sidelines. That's kind of what it felt like. Yeah, 205 was livid, like Kano gets on the touchline. So, no harm, no foul, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, definitely frustrating.
Absolutely. And, from there, it's just continuing to be Detroit wave after wave of attack. And we get one final Koke Vegas save to end the night here.
Be winless in regular season play since June 21st. They'd be in 6th place on 21 points. Rhode Island would be in 9th on 20 points, but it's given away here. Job goes for goal. Vegas makes another save. And Vegas another big save.
Goalkeeper's making a name for himself in that he's back in goals again. That's a useful save. Tips it away from danger for a corner. Doesn't drop it into the middle there. You could see.
The commentary of Koke Vegas is making a name for himself is very funny, considering he's like a 30-something-year-old, like long-time professional player and captain of this team. But yeah, I mean, any other thoughts to kind of end the second half here, and how Rhode Island FC reacted to going 1-0 up?
Yeah. Well, first on that save, I think the team gave that save like the play of the match or energy play of the match, whatever they call it. I would have thought it would have been the one on Smith, but sneaky good save there. Ball bounces like right in front of Koke. So it looks like it's an easy save because right at him, which kind of was, but the ball bounced. So he had to make an adjustment, split second, less than the second, get it away. So
Well, you know what's odd?
Yeah.
I felt like
Yeah.
last night there was a lot of like very weird bounces on the pitch. Like there were balls that you would think were going out and they would just die. There were balls that
Yeah.
like were kind of just they would drop and then kind of go a little bit in a different direction. So just something to keep an eye on. You know, we all know there's like those home field advantages where you know exactly where the ball does different things than the other. So maybe
Yeah.
we're cooking up a little Centreville Bank Stadium home field advantage that way.
Yeah, and so and a couple more things. We got to correct you. Koke only 29, which I didn't know. I thought he was in his 30s
Did I
too.
say 30?
Yeah, you said he was in his 30s. I thought
Okay,
so
I
too.
apologize.
Then
I've been aging, so I'm just putting it on everybody else as well.
gotta give Koke. He's still young. Still
Doesn't
young.
look an age day over 27.
Right. But no, as far as like the rest of the second half, like I thought, you know, I feel like we always bring this up, especially Matt brings this up a lot, but the ref was awful in the second half. Probably the whole game.
Let's go to the stats first, and then we'll go from there.
That
Because
was like the other story.
They are very evident in this one. So
Yeah.
second half, 38% possession for RIFC, which is I do not have the number, but that has to be up there with the season low, if not the season low. Only 2 shots to Detroit's 9, only 1 shot on target to Detroit's 2. We both had one big chance. Maxi, it was the penalty for Maxi. Detroit had one. They missed it. 100 accurate passes for Rhode Island FC at 76%, 174 at 84% for Detroit. They had 8 corners to our 1, and we had 15 fouls committed to their 7. I thought this second half, we talk about the refs every single episode here. And listen, this is Division 2. So each week there's a pot of refs that have to get called up to do the MLS games, right? It's probably 40, 50, 60 something. So that's where all the best refs are going to go. We then get this hodgepodge of refereeing, but the standards are so low that like it's honestly getting annoying that each week we have to bring this up. But oh my God, do we have to bring this up? Just allowing the game to be slowed down, just calling ticky-tack foul for ticky-tack, not calling fouls that were just clear as day, just players going through each other. Just very inconsistent yellow cards. One player will get a yellow card for holding the player back. There's one time Clay was trying to burst out. The guy's bear hugging him, doesn't even get a yellow. It's just so inconsistent and frustrating. I don't think anything's going to change, so I feel like I'm going insane by even talking about it. But yeah, all you to the ref.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like what you said, like, I felt like the second we went up, he was just calling everything for Detroit. Like, and I like try to be reasonable and not just scream, "Oh, the ref sucks" every single game. But like here, it was just so obvious that like it was just bad and inconsistent. And like you said, like Clay's getting bear hugged, they don't, no card. But then like anytime we got anywhere near a Detroit player, it was a foul. Doing yellows for no reason in the second half too. Like it was just like, or the whole game really, it was just like a mess. And where lucky didn't cost us, but definitely could have cost us. Like they got free kicks. I think a couple of free kicks, like right outside the box that were questionable. I think there was a corner that shouldn't have been a corner that they got. So like, just awful. And we're kind of lucky that, it didn't cost us and we still came right at the win, but frustrating to watch for sure.
Do you think there was anything to him maybe feeling like the penalty was a little more 50-50 and in the back of his head, maybe not purposefully, but in the back of his head, kind of almost making up for it?
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
It's human nature.
But
it's human nature.
Human nature.
I'm not saying he was cheating or anything like that.
No, I know. But like possible, but like you shouldn't respond with like that many, like all of those like all of those calls. Like I could see maybe like, okay, like a makeup call and a free kick, but it was really just like all the calls after that were pretty much in their favor, which I don't get. But yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely. So RIFC come away with a 1-0 victory, which dare I say they absolutely needed. The vibes, as we talked about ahead of time, were bad. We had not gotten points in a long time. So Round FC, after this one, do sneak up into the playoff line for the time being with a couple games in hand and much more to unfold as the season goes. But storylines here. We got storylines, we got slides, we got announcements, we got all sorts of stuff post-match here. So first one, dare I say the most controversial moment of the night, the big man of the match voting situation. So a little inside behind the scenes for the non-Defiance either members or non-Discord members. Every single match, there's a notification that goes out and the Defiance can then vote for who they thought the player of the match was. This one goes out and it has Maxi. That's it. You could vote for only Maxi. And boy, oh boy, was there a battle royale and the man of the match voting, commentary there. As we know, Koke Vegas ended up getting it. But what did you think about the idea of Maxi versus Koke for the man of the match on this one?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's tough. I think you want to vote for the player who you think had the best game, and I think that was Koke. But I also understand the side of, it meant a lot to Maxi coming off the bench, getting that penalty against his old team. Was a big moment for him. So I understand the thought there. But I think I would have been on the side of Koke. And I say would have. I didn't. I keep missing the. I'm probably too busy blogging, so I keep missing the vote for man of the match. Did you start that, Ryan? Did you start the controversy there, or what happened there?
Listen, I was one of the people really battling against the Maxi man of the match. So here's my take on it. So Maxi scores the goal. So obviously there is a reason for him to get it. To Martin's point here, without Koke, the penalty is lovely, but we're down 2-3-0 potentially. I mean, obviously Jackson's a very capable keeper, potentially makes all those saves as well. But I thought he had an absolute standout game. His first game back, he's the captain of this team. And obviously, I do think there are moments that you want to give people the man of the match based on things that might not have happened in the match. But I prefer those to be like a tiebreaker, or if it's close. Like, let's say Maxi did have like a standout game, and it was between him and Koke. Then yes, maybe give it to him. But I put it in the chat. I was like, I'm the biggest Maxi guy in the world. But at the time, he had 13 touches outside of the penalty. So it just. Personally, I don't think that the man of the match is man of the match, and that's how we've always treated it as Defiance 99% of the time. And I think it's tough when, I don't know if as a player, if I didn't feel I had a great game, if I was then handed the paddle as man of the match, if I would feel actually good about it. It almost feels like a pity award. I do like that it's a nod to other things, and that we're keeping an eye, and we love you, and we appreciate you that Detroit City fans don't. But I struggle with the kind of the rationale behind it there.
I liked when I agree with you. I liked when we did it for Kano. I think it was a Derby last year, right? I think we just gave it to Kano. I think that's cool to do once a year or something like that. But generally on a game to game basis, I think it should just be whoever had the best performance. And like you said, Maxi got the goal, but outside of that, didn't affect the game that too much. Was on the field for half an hour, so it's not like he played the whole game or even most of the game. And then Koke, without, like Martin said, like you said, without Koke, we don't win that game. So I definitely would have given it to Koke. But I get the sentiment, but I think for the most part we got to lean much more towards just voting for the best player and keep the kind of sentimental stuff for only once or twice a year,
Absolutely. And while we're on Maxi, this will probably be the last time we talk about it, but we did talk about him not starting. I think it's frustrating. I think it's frustrating from a general point because, as people are aware, I think he should be in the starting 11 every week. I think he's one of our better players. I think it's more disappointing in this match specifically. There's a bit of a, hatchet to bury in some ways, especially with the Detroit City fans. So I think kind of depriving him of that, I think is pretty frustrating. But any last thoughts on the kind of anything Maxi Rodriguez here?
Yeah, no, I
you could talk about his
agree.
haircut if you want to. But it looks great. It looks great.
I didn't think too much about the haircut. I will say I think I prefer the old one, but I just kind of hate change. I hate change.
We're actually going to do
a
fashion advice with Matt Hands.
No, definitely
not. Stay tuned afterwards.
Yeah. Do not want to take fashion advice from me, but no, but no. As for him on the field, I think the first game was against Detroit was definitely frustrating for him because Frank gets a red card 6 minutes in, so the game pretty much is just gone. They get 2 goals and within a couple minutes of each other early in the first half, and the game's over. And I think he came off, he definitely got subbed out before the end of the game, subbed out early. So you have that. And then I think here, I'm sure he wanted to start. I'm sure he wanted to really get at it, because of all the kind of external stuff going on. So frustrating, I'm sure, for him to not get the start there. And also even like tactically, like I think you mentioned this to me, like it not take away from Ibarra, but like why would you start him and Corcoran? You were saying it was like redundant, which I agree with. Like I would have probably started Maxi instead. And there was even a moment where Ibarra had a shot. It was kind of like a half chance, but he like scuffed it in the box. And I think I said to you, like, imagine if Maxi was in that spot. And it's nothing against Ibarra. That's not really his game. I mean, he's good from his set piece, taking free kicks and corners, but I would have rather had someone like a Maxi in the box at that point. So, yeah, I'm with you that he should start. But at the end of the day, with this game, even though he didn't get start, he obviously was the decisive factor, at least on the score sheet. So that's that's good for him. That's good for him to kind of stick it to Detroit. So happy for him in that respect.
Absolutely. So speaking of Matthew Corcoran there, shall we go to the slides?
Yeah.
Let's do some slides. So
Hell yeah.
first one up. Thank you, Matt Hands, for the intro there. The new guy. So I know there was a lot of conversation around him. His arrival, I think the biggest one was, oh, great, another midfielder. We need to score goals. So I said this to a few people before the match because, listen, the vibes, like we said, the vibe's really bad. It wasn't a day to kind of stick your neck out and give opinions in the world over at Allen FC, but I see the vision. I see the vision here. So in this one, he had 93% passing accuracy, 3 of 4 on long balls. He had the third most touches for Allen FC. I liked how he came in, and he seemed to be the one kind of dictating play. He was pointing at people where to go. He was kind of the one marshaling like the back line, keeping people organized, which I thought was, especially for a 19-year-old to come into a group of other professionals and just assert yourself. I think he might have met him like 24 to 72 hours beforehand. So thought that was really special. I like I said, I see the vision in terms of, he's definitely a sideways back pass guy. Like he's going to just keep the ball ticking. The thing about that style of play, and I told you if you listen to this podcast, I will talk about how I don't mind / like this style of play, but it's supposed to kind of suck the kind of the opposition in and kind of move them around a bit more until you then get that kind of cutting pass. And we saw him attempt it 1 or 2 times, and that was when I kind of had a moment of like, oh, okay, like he can pull that off. We didn't receive the ball well, so we didn't actually do it, but I do understand. And I think this loan signing, it makes sense if you think about who Kano has targeted for this position in the past. We know that he really wanted Aaron Malloy, who was on my very high list with Maxi of like people I want in the USL on this team. But Aaron Malloy, if you are unfamiliar, is on Charleston. He was the highest rated player in the league last season. He's someone who's going to touch the ball 100 times in a match. He's going to complete 90-something% of his passes. He's going to create a couple chances and just intercept and just kind of run the game. I think, and people are going to hate me going from Aaron Malloy to, I think it's kind of what Kano was hoping Teemu would be in a way. Teemu is that same kind of style of those kind of short, quick passes, moving. And Corcoran seems to be in that same mold. Obviously, very wide range of skill levels of those 3 players. But I see what Kano's trying to do here with him. Agree to your point earlier about having him and Ibarra feels a little redundant there. And we'll get to maybe what this all looks like moving forward. But anything, actually, before I kick it to you, I forgot to do this. Let's kick it to Coach Connor Smith on his debut.
In that midfield moving forward. Yeah, Matthew's excellent in possession. He likes to dictate the tempo and the rhythm of the game. I thought he did that tonight. He's 19. He's brave. He doesn't hide. He loves to get on the ball and get the team moving forward. So, when Nashville reached out and asked, we were interested. I've known Matthew since he was, I think, 15, 16 years old in Birmingham when he showed up with us. So I spent a lot of time with him outside of the soccer environment. So we always hoped that there was an opportunity for us to work together again.
Yeah. So what do you think about, his performance, Kano's thoughts? I think one thing, I actually didn't watch the clip. You just sent it to me and you said it was good. So I put it in here. It's the trust I have in my co-host. But very interesting that he said that Nashville reached out to them and not vice versa.
Yeah. And Andrew was saying that too when I showed him. I think, on that, it's interesting. I'm curious, like Kano said, like he's known him since he like came through at Birmingham at like 15, 16. So curious like what kind of contact there is there. And like if Kano was probably keeping an eye on it, maybe I mean it could still mean Kano let Nashville know, hey, if this kid's available, and then they let him know. You never know how that goes, but yeah. And then as far as like his performance, like I completely agree with the slide. I see the vision. Like right from the start, you could see him dropping back just to like the edge of our own box, almost in between the center backs, picking up the ball from Koke. Mostly making safe passes. I thought he tried a couple of more, progressive passes that were not necessarily risky, isn't the right word, but like, not as safe. And so it definitely showed what he could do. And it kind of reminded me of, in not nearly the quality level, but the style of play. It kind of reminds you what you see over in Europe a little bit with some of these possession-based teams that, you and I are both certainly familiar with, and, just from watching various teams are over there. So, and I think that's what Kano wants to do, I'm sure. So, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought he had a good performance, was safe. Yeah, 93%, good passing accuracy, lots of touches. So, yeah, I see it, and I think it should help us to get more goals, so long as we have the good players up there. Yeah, he did bag against Villa, which I it's one of the first things I said to you, and actually, when he was it was a good goal. He was almost at fault for conceding right before that, but it is what it is. There was actually a kid in the stand, like right at the beginning of the game. Some kid who's probably like 9-10 years old was yelling, "If you can score against Villa, you can score against Detroit." So that was pretty funny to me.
I honestly, I hated that so much, but you were having the time of your life, so I was happy to hear.
Yeah, hey,
there's honestly too much respect for Villa in 205. Is my biggest takeaway. Matt Hands has like a little army in 205 of Villa fans somehow, and half of them are like 10 years old. So I don't know what's going on.
No, those kids know ball. What can I say? They know ball. Usually you're talking about RIFC, and they know what's going on. They know more than the parents that are with them. So credit to those kids.
We gotta get we gotta like and subscribe. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We gotta start. We gotta get like I think Sarah mentioned this like a while back to me. We gotta get like Tide Talk like business cards, just pass them around with like a little QR code on them, pass them around to people.
Listen, uptotide.com, everybody. But yeah, so again, I don't think I'm not sitting here saying he's a second coming of Busquets or that this was an elite performance. I just think I see the vision. I think there's a lot more to come. And I think it was a very solid debut for a kid who's been in the Ocean State for probably 2 days. Next up, Koke's back, and before I start yapping, let's go to Kano Smith.
I don't want to diminish Jackson by any means. Jackson's done really well for us, and Jackson's a starter in this league. And his ultimate teammate, he took the decision well, and he understood why, and it was just more so Koke's experience. We wanted to lean on his experience for a tough match, but yeah, that's not to diminish Jackson. I don't want to diminish Jackson by any means. Jackson's done really well for us, and
That's it.
Yeah, so sorry. Dog's freaking out. So yeah, so Koke's back, and I something I think we've talked a bit about of the kind of difference between him and Jackson, and some of the differences in style of play. Again, to echo Kano, not to diminish anything about Jackson, but I think we talked about it before Koke got injured, and he was having a hell of a season going into this. I don't think I think it was going under the radar. I was trying to bring it up a lot of like, this is not normal what we're seeing from Koke. This is like his best season yet. Just to frame that, he's currently 4th in the league in expected goals versus goals conceded. So basically he's saving the fourth most goals compared to the goals that he's expected to save, which is actually pretty crazy. His passing accuracy is one of the best in the league in terms of the passes he's completing versus the difficulty of completing those passes. So overall, I thought this was an unbelievable debut for a guy who's been out for a few months. He saved 1.62 XG in this game, which is pretty crazy. So more or less, he was supposed to give up 2 goals in this one, but by the data did not. He had those 3 saves, which we watched. 10 for 22 on long balls. That's significantly more long balls than we've been playing out over the past couple of weeks or past couple of months, really. and he was 69% passing accuracy, which I would say is nice. But what about you, Matt Hands?
No, yeah, it was good. Very nice. Koke, yeah, great to see him back, like we were saying earlier. And yeah, I thought last season he was kind of like, I mean, I don't look at the stats, but he felt like kind of like an average like shot stopper. Like he wasn't like bad or anything, but he wasn't like a great shot stopper. And I think that's kind of been the difference for him this year is he's still doing what he does with the ball at his feet, but he's saving, making a lot more, making better saves, hanging on to the ball and crosses, things like that we used to kind of get concerned about. And so he's been awesome. And I think that on the Kano thing, saying, not to take away from Jackson, like I just like that he said that, to kind of acknowledge him in that way. And Koke acknowledged him. Don't have a clip of it, but Koke acknowledged him as well in the post match, talking about how like the, not by name, but like the goalkeeper union that they have there, right? Which are basically him and Jackson and Will and goalkeeper coach and all of that, and how that really helped him come back. And I'm sure that Jackson kind of helped push him. It's healthy competition there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, great to have him back. Definitely a captain's performance. We needed him out there for his leadership, and yeah, very, very glad to have him back.
Absolutely. And let's hear from the captain himself on being back.
As I told before, credit to the team. I think we saw a brave team today, trying to play, try to leave all the expectations, all the pressure, everything away. I saw a team that enjoyed a lot today, and I saw fans enjoying the team today. I saw a team that was suffering well when we had to suffer, when you are winning, and in these kind of moments that we were having, like you need to suffer and you have to know how to suffer, and we did it. So I'm really proud of the team. I think offensively and defensively we did a complete game. We got those 3 points that at the end of the day is the most important. And then we gotta be honest and we know that we are not in the spot that we wanna be, and we have the quality to be better than we are right now. So hopefully this victory and those 3 points can help us to take a good momentum for the rest of the season. Hopefully, yeah.
So Koke echoing a lot of what he said, and that's one of the other reasons I was excited that he was man of the match, is that he got on the mic, and I think hearing the captain kind of address the team, the staff, the front office, the fans, like it was I think a really nice rallying message in a time where this fan base and this team really needed it. So shout out to Koke, glad to see him back in there. So final slide here. Was that progress last night? I don't think so too much. Listen, 3 points are 3 points. I was so genuinely excited to talk about a win. I am happy. I'm happy, but I am not ready to say that this team is fixed and we're building momentum and all this kind of stuff. We had one big chance created. That's it. It was the penalty. We only had 2 shots on target. We lost on XG, which means we have to give the points back to the statistics gods, which is unfortunate. Only 23% of our passes were in the attacking half of the pitch, not even the attacking third, the attacking half of the pitch. Overall thoughts on kind of this performance in the kind of grand scheme of the season here.
Yeah. I think, I agree with you. Like teams, we're not quite back. So I'm laughing at the comments at the chat, but yeah, like I think there were some positive, like, so this is kind of how I feel it, right? In general, I kind of this goes back to like the vibes heading into games. I get down on the team, and then it gets near, closer and closer to the end of the week, usually if it's a weekend game, and I get kind of positive on the team again, and then I can convince myself.
At what point is that, before or after the Jello shots in the parking lot?
No, it's before. It's usually when I'm writing the blog, and that's why the blogs have up until very recently been mostly positive. Not mostly positive, but like me thinking the team's going to turn things around, because I can sit up there in 205 or at home if it's an away game, and I can look on the field and I can see some good things. Like from this game, I would say The new kid Corcoran, the new kid looked pretty good, and I can see what the vision, like you said, what the vision is there. I thought Hugo had a really good game. Obviously, Koke, like our style of play, even though I guess it seemed like we're trying. It seemed like what we were trying to do, we could possibly accomplish, or at least we're closer to it. But again, like you see here, like 23% of the passes were only 23 in the attacking half, so a lot of stuff in our own end. But yeah, I can see all that stuff, but then the results just haven't been there to back any of that up, and it kind of gets to a point where you wonder, like, is this ever going to turn around? And so, as far as this game goes, like, yeah, like there were good signs and there were things that I liked, but I'm definitely not convinced, and I need to see like a even better performance this weekend against Loudoun and see how that goes. And kind of like you have to string these results together in order for us to kind of really feel like the team's back. I think just one win like this, still not having a goal from open play, like it's it's great to get the 3 points and you feel good about it, but you got to you got to take this and keep the momentum going forward. So that's kind of where I'm at.
No, I totally agree. So, man, hands, I have a bonus slide. So moving forward, so if any of you who don't know, the Tide Talk guys can't spend more than a couple of days without sending formations to each other because God forbid we don't just fantasize about different things about this team. So after this match, I hopped on the Fop Mob lineup creator, and you guys saw this one earlier, but I would love to see this just one time. This is my one time I want to see. So this lineup, you have JJ Williams up top. You have Noah Fuson as a left winger. You have Jose Quezera as a right winger. You have a midfield three of Clay Holstad and Maxi Rodriguez ahead of Matthew Corcoran. You have Aldair Sanchez on the left with Amy Abika Krifia in the middle and Hugo Bacharach on the right. And I have what it looks like in defense and attack. Matt Hands, why do you hate this?
I mean, I don't fully hate it. But I think Quezera, there's just so many I feel like there's never a perfect lineup because there's always going to be somebody sort of out of position.
This is a perfect lineup.
Well, there's always going to be someone.
We're never going to see it, so I get to say that, and we'll never.
Yeah. Well, like in this case, I guess like my main focus is on the wingers. Well, so first I'll start actually this way. I like the back line. I like Hugo at right back. I think he's a good defensive right back, and he can definitely get forward. More so kind of tucking inside to like that kind of half channel and inside rather than getting out wide. But we obviously can see him progress the ball. So that's really good. Corcoran is good defensive midfielder, can drop in between, help keep the ball. Clay and Max to get further forward. Like I like all of that. But I don't know about Noah out wide, and I don't know about him and Quezera on the right and him on the left. Like I'd maybe think about switching him. Like ideally, like it would be great to see Jojea cut in onto his like stronger left foot and Noah cut in onto a stronger right foot from the left, the inverted winger thing. I just don't think it's worked. And my point about there not being a perfect lineup is like we know and we've seen that Noah's best position is to be like get to pick up more central areas and rather than being out wide. And we saw that last year when he was like he had to play wing back at times and was good, but he was obviously much better when he had more of a free role in the attack. So yeah, I think there's always something that because I've done the same exercise and I can't figure out a perfect lineup. So I would just be concerned about the Noah and Quezera wide, I guess, is the main thing.
Yep, and I knew Andrew Quadras was coming in soon. He absolutely hates
Quadras a little bit.
Yeah. So here's why the reason I always swap them is because I find when Quezera and Aldair are on the left side together that they become kind of redundant because they both want to go to the same place to get the cross in, which they're both very good crossers. I just would rather, it's like, okay, if you're both going to do that, or other one of you do it. So that actually Aldair going outside to the byline actually platforms Noah to go inside. And Quezera kind of has the wing to himself. Again, these are all hypothetical because we'll never see it. But if we do and we win, you will never hear the end of it from me. So that was the bonus slide there. Make sure. Yep, that was it. All right. So back to the thing here. So the only other thing that I had was we got a signing today. You'll never believe it. It was Atkinson from the Jamaican League.
Who's that guy? I hadn't heard anything about him
who is
until
yet another
surprise signing.
Yeah, and I think the overwhelming reaction so far that I've seen was another midfielder. So yeah, can you? I actually don't remember if we've talked about this at this point on the show.
Yeah.
So you might be getting first crack at the signing here. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think he'll I think he's listed as a midfielder. I'm assuming he'll play more out wide. I'm hoping he plays wide on the right because I feel like we have no one that can. Yeah, it looks like he can invert. Not going to confirm or not if he's left-footed or right-footed. I don't remember. But
I don't do that because I said Hugo Baccarat is left-footed
Right.
in November, and I just until like 2 days ago realized he's right-footed. So
yeah, no, but I'd like to. I'd like to think he's going to play out wide or even like up top with off of JJ or something like that. I don't think he's going to another midfielder, but he's not. It's not like Corcoran, another midfielder who's actually going to be further back. It's someone who's going to be up there helping out the attack. I mean, I don't know. He's coming from the Jamaican League, which I'm sure isn't high quality. So we'll have to see how he adjusts. I do trust Kano. I think there's been talk about Kano as a GM, but I think at the very least, him and whoever's working with him can usually find good under the radar players. And I say under the radar as in guys that we don't know about from because obviously Maxi, for example, we all kind of knew about Maxi. Obvious, you want to bring him in, all league player last year, all of that. But I look at other guys Hugo has been really good. Aldair, another USL guy, but still really good. Like Rio and Ame Mabika, trying to say his name correctly. I think it's Ame.
I need to memorize that because every time I get to a lineup, if you listen to me read the lineup, you see me kind of pause there every time, and I know I'm not saying it right. I'm very sorry about that.
No, I think we've all kind of since he signed just been saying Ame. I think it's just Ame.
It makes a lot more sense because of the accents, which is what. Yep, got it.
Does make sense, yeah. But no, larger point here. I think Connor's brought in some players that we were like, who the hell is this guy? Is he going to be any good? And most of them, I think, have been hits, or have at least been able to contribute. So I'm hoping that that's the same here with Atkinson. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. Hopefully, we get to see him on Saturday. We probably will. At this rate, I wouldn't even be surprised if he starts, knowing Kano, because he just throws guys in when they're brand new. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. Looking forward to it.
Totally. I have watched 2 YouTube videos that were, I think, in grand total 90 seconds long. We might have signed the Jamaican Messi, is all I'm going to say. But we will kick it over to your takes on the socials here. And we're going to start with Twitter tonight. So we had FQB, Fluffy Cog Boy, here with 361 as is RIFC in 3. I don't get it.
For formation, because he had joked.
Oh, yes.
He had joked we should just play a 3-6-1, playing a bunch of midfielders, and then we almost essentially did that.
Got it. Yep. He said that to me multiple times. Yep. All right. So good. 3 points. Better. Hugo going forward. Best. Koke looked great. Look at Kevin taking the optimistic route here. We did give dealer's choice tonight on good, better, best, or good, bad, ugly here. So we have Tyler Hatch here with 3. Cut everyone's hair. That one's great. Good. Double pretzels. I did hear his story about the double pretzels. It's honestly lovely when they do that. Again, pretzel stand attendance players of the season. His better was Koke is back and kept a clean sheet. Best, meeting Matt and Scott. That's adorable. Moving over to Instagram here. We have Santi NC good. We won and Maxi's cut looking sharp. Bad. Oh, Santi NC is good. We won and Maxi's cut looking sharp. Bad. Line splitting passes through the defense. Ugly. Not capitalizing on chances and getting saved by the ref. Oof. Interesting take. It's fun when I saw line splitting passes. I was like, oh yeah, but I was like, no, it's just bad. It means we were getting cut up. So
yeah.
Good point, Santi. Booth Hill Brewing, which again, Booth Hill. We got to try the beer. All right, I've seen 3. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's a good one. His good, or they're good. Vegas back in goal and took 3 badly needed points. Bad, the entire team is just off and it's not changing this season. Ugly, the XG was like 0.5 without that penalty. Gross, that is very true. Rhode Island FC UK, aka Scott, 3 points at home. His bad refereeing, ugly win. No, bad refereeing, ugly win. Guys, there's a lot of format not being stuck to here. This is tough. And then the legendary 006, not good win. His good can shoot PKs. Bad defense was shakily. Ugly team misses opportunities. So vibes are. I love that Twitter, which is the cesspool of the internet. Vibes are off the charts. We got Instagram, which is usually pretty fine, and people are not happy. Now we're gonna go to Facebook, and we got Santiago Restrepo, who got to meet him again last night. Awesome guy. Good. Defiance and the band were back. Yes, huge part of the atmosphere last night was Defiance being back in La Banda, and yeah, more power to them. Better 3 points, ugly win, but we got the points. I think that is the perfect way to summarize this one. And best, Koke saved us. What a game he had. Absolutely, Santiago. And finally, we will go to the Discord, which is going to take, there's been a lot of conversation there today. It's going to take a lot to pick through here. All right, let's see. It started, I think, with Leo. Yes, Leo. His good, finishing out a game with a lead despite not being the better team, and most of the foul calls / no calls and cards tilting against us late. Better, Maxi converting another penalty. Best, Koke's incredible saves to bail out the backline and midfield. RIFC in 3. Surface for air. The fun thing about Leo is we have to save these for the end, because if we did them first, it would just be the perfect summary of the podcast. So shout out to Leo as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and then he had a question for the pod. Was the 205 Tie Talk crew the group of people jumping up and waving their arms in frustration during the second half when an RFC player, I think it was Mark, could have played a progressive pass up near the sideline, but instead turned and played the ball back to CB? As you saw literally on the show, this Leo, that was us, and we talked about it, which is why there's so much conversation. Scrolling. We got Andrew Gomes here with his ugly. He went the full gamut, the rainbow. Ugly, still waiting for a goal and open play. Bad, that pass back from Ibarra instead of pushing up. Good, Hugo is a tank. Better, Maxi's penalty conversion against his former club. Best, Koke playing out of his absolute mind for us to finally see a home win. RIFC in 3, a Maxi scorned. That's a good one. Taras had good first half effort, bad second half effort. Ugly, still no goals in the run of play. Better, at least we did score. RIFC in 3. I feel better. Bonus RIFC in 3, but should I? Very good. Very good. See, very creative use of the format, Taras. We got Matt Jean, RIFC in 3. Maxi deserved the paddle, and we went through the controversy there. We got Sarah P here with RIFC in 3. Matt is right. RIFC, which was Matt Jean there with Maxi deserved the paddle. RIFC in 3. Fuck Detroit. RIFC in 3. Koke was amazing. RIFC in 3 from Ryan O, which is can't do it in 3. So this is a question. I think this is a fun one. So I actually did some Googling on this earlier to form an opinion, but I'll give it to you first. If Koke hadn't been injured, would we be closer to draw kings like last season?
I don't think so, because I
agree.
Like, I don't recall anything like egregious, like, oh, Jackson was terrible or egregious. Like, I do think, like, right when he came in, he was like a little bit shaky, but he was also like, people have to remember, which even I forgot, like he was coming off of like an injury that he got right before the final last back in November. So you know, I got any time, I think the guy's feet under him, but yeah, I mean, maybe like a couple different results, especially early on, but I don't really think it was yeah, I don't really think so. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, good point here by Martin. 11 games, 5 clean sheets. Yeah, but even then, I think, let's say Koke halves some of those matches. Like, we still had plenty of them that we lost like 2-0 or something like that.
Right.
I don't, I think Koke is having a phenomenal season, but I don't think Jackson has been like average. Like, he's saving what he should be saving. Koke is just saving slightly more than he should be saving. It is not like prime Manuel Neuer out there or Buffon. Like, he's having a very good season. So the problem still continues to be like, we have not been scoring goals. So unless every game was 0-0, That's the problem right now.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
we do miss Koke in attack as well via his distribution and long balls, but interesting. So we had some people disagreeing with us here. We'd have at least one more win and a tie.
yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't think that makes that much of a difference. I'm not about one more win, maybe a tie. Like, again, it's scoring goals. Like the problem's been scoring goals. Martin is right. Yeah, we Jackson does have a different skill set as far as like, you know, not being as good with the ball at his feet. I would have liked to see Jackson kind of throw the ball more. He started doing that, and I feel like he kind of went away from that. You know, like after a save or whatever, you know, kind of throwing the ball out quickly for his distribution. But yeah, I don't know how much of a real difference it would have made. It's goals. Like the problem is you can't create goals, and like yeah, Koke can help and build up, but Koke is not going to go up there and score goals or bang in free kicks. He's not Rogério Ceni or whatever his name was, that Brazilian goalie that had 1 million goals. So we're not yeah. It's more of the it's always more of the attack is our problem.
You know, the fun thing about a hypothetical is it'll always be a hypothetical. So we got Martin here with his RIFC in 3. Finally, another win. Good. Hugo is a beast. Better. Maxi scores a penalty to win the game. Best. Koke is back in style. Patrick McKenna, RIFC in 3. Jorge Ruiz Ojeda. I have absolutely no idea what that meant.
That's Koke's actual name.
Oh, Patrick. Nice. Deep cut.
Government name there from Patrick.
Yeah, wow. What a pull. We got good. Scott doling out Bermuda rum in honor of Kano at the tailgate. Oh, I missed a good tailgate. Jeez. Better Cupcake Mama delivering the goods to my 3-year-old. Way to word that as a drug deal, Patrick. Best massive 3 points at home. And finally, Mike Howard, RIFC in 3. Mental health stable. Good one to end on.
That's good.
So thank you all as always for your comments, posts, questions, anything in there. We always really appreciate the support, the interaction, and everything. So next Saturday, in 2 days, we are playing against Loudoun. And yeah, we're gonna do I'm gonna bully Matt Hands to do a quick score prediction. So if you have them, get them in the chat here. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to say, I'm not committing to this because he's going to write it in the blog. So make sure tomorrow or Saturday morning, check out TideTalkRI.com or subscribe to the newsletter and you'll get it right in your inbox. And if you're still listening to us, please smash that like button. But Matt, we have Loudoun. It's very funny. So I remember when we talked to our Loudoun podcast guest, which his name is absolutely eluding me right now. He was talking about how they were playing so well and they always started off hot and then they kind of cool off to the middle and end of the season. And boy, oh boy, could he have not predicted that any better. They were winless in their last 6 with 2 draws and 4 losses in the league. I think this is one of those moments. It's like, can we use this as an opportunity to build momentum? But how are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah.
Also, listen, I understand the blog is a precious place too, so hedge as much as you want. You can also test some takes here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go with a draw. Maybe try to be positive. I don't know. Like Loudoun, like you said, they haven't won. I think I'm looking at it right now. I think June 14th was when they last won against Detroit. Like they won on penalties in the Jaeger, but I'm not counting that against Charlotte. But like as far as like winning in 90, yeah, they haven't won since June 14th. So similar to Detroit in a way, kind of. I mean, Detroit's kind of free fall started earlier than that. I think back in May was the last time or something like that. So, but yeah, look, they're a good team. They have one of my favorite players in the league in Abakura, so I'm always afraid of him. A couple new signings for them too. They signed Ordonez, I think it is, from Guatemala, and then they signed some other guy whose name escapes me, but he's from Guyana, and that was like today. So I don't know if he's going to actually be there or not. But he's on loan from Chicago Fire. One of those guys, mostly like an ex-pro guy, but he's kind of played a little bit with the full team. But I guess similar to Corcoran in the sense that not getting as much playing time. One of those situations. But I think they're a good team. I think they're annoying to play against, and I think when their attack gets going, like they can be tough. So yeah, as far as a prediction, I mean, I'll just say 1-1 for now. I don't know if I'll stick with that. Like you were saying, I reserve the right to change that as I'm doing the blog tomorrow, which should be out tomorrow evening. But yeah, I think we gotta get a result here. Like I definitely don't. We can't get a loss. We can't lose this game.
Awesome. And breaking news, we got William Lamb, Sacramento Republic fan and content creator, legend of the live chat here, will be there at the game. So I can't wait to meet William. And yes, I will definitely be there. So we got some score predictions piling in on the chat. We got Nate Ski with a 2-1 win. We got Timmy Sclafani with 0-0. Thanks, Timmy, for the upbeat prediction. We got FQB Kevin with 2-1 RIFC. We all okay. We got Sarah with 1-0 RAFC. We got Martin with 2-0 payback. We got Santiago with I'm feeling optimistic 3-1 RAFC. Dare I say the vibes are
a lot of
drastically different than 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours ago. We got Matt Jean with 3 pretzels to 1. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you're having 4? Unclear. Kevin actually changed his prediction to 3-1 because William's coming, which is amazing. William is going 1-1. Fair point. And we got Quadros with a 1-0 RAFC win. I'm going to go. I like 2-1. I like that. I was thinking 2-0. We'll see. I think 2-1 is interesting. Listen, I said 3-0. We're going to beat Detroit. Like I haven't been right once this season, so it's not going to change this time.
Too much positivity, man. I don't like it. I almost don't like it. I think
you know how to rate your blog.
Yeah. No, I think we're better. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we got 1 win, and now we're like everyone's being like positive, and it's like we kind of just went through the fact that we don't think that it's fully turned around yet. And Loudon's still a good team despite recent results for them. So,
but what if Kano plays my formation?
I mean, maybe if he's watching and
if he made it all the way to the slides.
Yeah, if you watch all the way through the slides, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you have a back channel to contact him, Ryan. So you can just email him the slides.
Yeah, sure.
No,
I'll put it in the SharePoint with the media team. But right. Matt Hands, one final question for you before we get out of here. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Not a big Taylor Swift fan. Blank Spaces, that one. I know it's one of the hits, but that's probably like my favorite Taylor Swift song that I wouldn't even say favorite. It's just one that I can like stand and tolerate. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm doing that, but I'm doing the Kendrick Lamar one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The same one, yeah. Well, that'll wrap things up. Just remember that it is folklore night on Saturday, so make sure you remember to stay for the fireworks. But
that's why William Lamb's coming. He heard it was folklore. It's making the cross country trip to for Taylor Swift.
Listen, we still have not confirmed or denied if Taylor Swift's going to be in attendance. So she has a house in Rhode Island, guys. It could happen. You never know.
I'm shaking my head at Sarah's comment.
We're getting some actual Taylor Swift content in the chat, which is really good stuff. But that'll wrap things up for this one. Just a reminder that Tide Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. Also have to shout out the blog at tidetalkri.com, where you can find player ratings, pre and post match analysis, and our take on the latest RAFC news. Unfortunately, we are not following any Taylor Swift news. I've been your host, Ryan, and a big thank you to Matt Hands for jumping on tonight. Make sure you go read that pre-match lookout tomorrow or Saturday. But most importantly, thank you to everyone who has joined in live and anyone who supports the work that we do. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the tide.
Up the tide.